Over the summer, a lot of big players left their clubs, leaving huge gaps back there. Some clubs have suffered in the absence of those big players, but some others have had players step in or step up brilliantly. Who are some of these players? We'll find out in this video today. These are 7 smaller players who are filling the big boots of their predecessors.
Look, I'll be honest, we're swamped. The World Cup hype is real and Goal90 shop is officially at capacity. If you ordered this week, please bear with us for a 2-week processing delay. It's a good problem to have, but we are working around the clock to get your gear out. Thank you for your massive support.
Let's start with Igor Thiago. In his case, you could even say that he's filling the massive boots of 2 players. Both Bryan Mbeumo and Yoane Wissa left Brentford last summer, and that left a massive dent in the squad. We're talking about players who each scored 20 goals last season. Seeing both of them leave in the same window without the club signing a big name was a big risk, which was why everyone thought Brentford would be in a relegation fight this season. But Igor Thiago has really stepped up to fill that void. He has been at the club since 2024, but injuries really stopped him from making his mark in the first season. He played only 169 minutes throughout the 2024-25 season, an equivalent of less than 2 full games. So really, nobody was looking to him as the man who would come and save Brentford, but what he has done so far this season has been nothing short of incredible. He is really filling the massive boots of his predecessors and might even soon outdo them. Wissa and Mbeumo scored 20 goals each across all competitions last season, but this season Thiago has already scored 18 goals in the Premier League alone, with 9 games still to play. He's one of the main reasons the Bees are fighting for European football right now. Another striker who's filling big boots right now is Luis Suarez. No, not the Uruguayan legend who played for Liverpool and Barcelona. We're talking about the 28-year-old Colombian striker who plays for Sporting right now. After Victor Gyökeres left the Portuguese Giants in the summer, they went out to sign Suarez from Almeria for €25 million. Much wasn't expected of a striker who was coming from Spain's second division, but he has really surpassed expectations so far. Last season, Gyökeres scored 54 goals in 52 appearances for Sporting. This season, Suarez has managed 30 goals in 32 appearances. Gyökeres won the Liga Portugal Golden Boot last season, and Suarez is currently leading the race for that award this season. Gyökeres led Sporting to the league title last season, and with the league looking like it'll go down to the wire, Suarez could also still do that this season. In fact, as far as the Champions League is concerned, Luis Suarez appears to have done one better than the Swede. Last season, Sporting finished 23rd on the Champions League table, with Gyökeres leading the line, but with Luis Suarez up top this season, they finished in the top 8. Victor's departure was almost certain to leave a massive gap for Sporting. He was one heck of a goal machine for them after all. But Luis Suarez has come in and made sure that the club hasn't missed him so much, and it's sort of the same thing with Hugo Ekitike. He left a pretty massive hole at Eintracht Frankfurt when he left to join Liverpool last summer. This was a player who was directly involved in 34 goals in 48 appearances for the club last season. But after he left for a whopping €95 million, Frankfurt went out and signed Jonathan Burkhart for just €21 million. So far, he seems to be filling Ekitike's boots pretty well. He has scored 11 goals in 17 appearances across the league and the Champions League, and a good number of those goals came in big games against Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid and Galatasaray. Sadly, Burkhart has suffered some injuries which caused him to be sidelined for some time, and his absence was one of the reasons Eintracht Frankfurt failed to qualify from the league phase of the Champions League. But he's now back, and he's already back to scoring goals for the club. Right now, he is one of the top 10 highest goal scorers in the Bundesliga. And you know what's even more impressive? He has the best goal conversion rate in the German top flight, and only Harry Kane boasts more goals per 90. This guy really does feel like a suitable long-term replacement for Ekitike. He's really doing a great job by filling the Frenchman's boots. Speaking of Liverpool strikers though, Alexander Isak notably left Newcastle to join Liverpool in the summer, and in his absence, Anthony Gordon has been doing a good job of filling his boots. Despite buying 2 strikers in the summer, Eddie Howe has ended up using Gordon as a centre-forward in this campaign, and the former Everton man has not been doing so badly in that position. He's currently the second highest goalscorer in the Champions League season with 10 goals. That's 10 times more goals in just one season than Isak has managed in his entire UEFA Champions League career. Gordon only recently started playing mainly as a centre-forward since Howe pushed Voltemade to the midfield. So far, the Englishman has played as a striker for Newcastle 12 times this season, and in those games he has directly contributed to 8 goals. Not bad at all, especially for a player who's naturally a winger. Next, let's talk about Ryan Cherki. Having said a very emotional goodbye to Kevin De Bruyne in the summer, Man City went out and got Cherki in hopes that he'll fill the creative void that KDB's absence created. And so far, you have to say that the Frenchman has been doing a more than decent job. He's currently second for most assists and big chances created in the Premier League this season. Also, his passing is great and he still pops up with important goals every now and then, just like De Bruyne used to do. On top of all that, he has shown that he's great at controlling the tempo of the game and entertaining the crowd. Being able to outdo De Bruyne's legacy at Manchester City is a whole different ballgame, but so far, Cherki has surely been filling the huge boots that were left by the Belgian. But this video is not just for attacking players. For example, Marco Senesi has really stepped up since both Dean Huyson and Ilya Zabarnyi left last summer. Those two were the centre-back pairing for Bournemouth last season and they did a good job together. Losing both of them in the same window was surely a massive blow, but Senesi has since stepped up and made sure that the team doesn't miss them so much. He has been at the club for some time now actually, but last season he only started 13 Premier League games. Apart from the fact that Huyson and Zabarnyi were ahead of him in the pecking order, he also suffered a hamstring injury which kept him out for more than 3 months. But with those two having left, the Argentine centre-back has become really immense for the Cherries. He is currently third for most interceptions and second for most blocked shots and most clearances in the Premier League this season. Without a doubt, he has been one of the best centre-backs in the English top flight in the 2025-26 season. He has been so good that he is currently being linked to top clubs like Barcelona when he becomes a free agent at the end of the season. Anyway, let's now wrap up this video with Christoph Baumgartner. The 26-year-old Austria international has really stepped up for RB Leipzig since Benjamin Šeško left last summer. The Slovenian's departure was a massive loss for Leipzig, for sure. This was a player who scored 21 goals for them last season. They really needed someone to step up and fill those boots, and well, Christoph Baumgartner stood up and took it upon himself. He has actually been at the club since 2023, but he was never the main man attacking-wise. Šeško had all the goal-scoring responsibilities, and Baumgartner only managed 10 goals in 83 appearances across his first 2 seasons at the club. Looking at those numbers, no one thought he could fill Šeško's boots, but that's exactly what he's been doing so far. This season he has been directly involved in 20 goals in 26 appearances for Leipzig across all competitions. He's currently the 6th highest goal scorer in the German Bundesliga and Leipzig's main source of goals. And you know why this is even more impressive? The Austrian doesn't even play as a central forward. He plays behind the striker, but in Šeško's absence, he has decided to take up the mantle. And what makes what he's doing even more impressive is the fact that he's been something of a big game player too. This season alone, he has scored 3 goals against Dortmund, contributed to 3 goals against Eintracht Frankfurt, and set up a goal against Bayer Leverkusen. Šeško contributed to a lot of goals for Leipzig last season, but Baumgartner is making sure that they don't miss him so much this season. Now, are there more players you would say are filling the massive boots of their predecessors this season? Tell us about them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.